Hello everyone, and this is a recap movie, 28 years later. Enjoy. A young boy and his sick mother go on a dangerous journey through a country inhabited by people infected with a ravaged virus to find a doctor who can help them. The action of the film begins in the Scottish Highlands. Small children watch Teletubbies on TV, while adults make noise and swear in the next rooms. When the distraught parents burst into the room and gnaw the children, only the boy Jimmy manages to escape. His mother, before contracting the rage virus, tells him to run. Jimmy runs to the church, where his father works as a priest. However, the dad sees a sign from God. In the ongoing zombie apocalypse, he gives his son to be baptized and hides him in the church cellar. Before the infected break into the building, they bite the priest, infecting him, after which the whole crowd moves on. Jimmy is left alone in this big and dangerous world. The rage virus epidemic has spread throughout Great Britain. The British Isles have been quarantined from mainland Europe. The country is populated by the infected. People have huddled together in communes. Therefore, the walking corpses are forced to feed not on human flesh but on earthworms, squirrels and deer and forest bark. The few healthy survivors live on the island of Lindisfarne, separated from the mainland by a narrow spit, which can only be walked on at low tide. A boy named Spike lives here. His mother is ill. She has outbursts of anger and memory lapses. But since there is no doctor on the island, no one can help Spike himself. Together with his father, Jimmy is going on his first exit to the mainland, a kind of initiation rite, an entry into adulthood, having grabbed everything they need and leaving old Sam to look after Ela. Father and son head out at the gate. The elders of the community remind them that no one will come looking for them if they do not return. Such are the local safety rules. Having crossed 2 O's, they find themselves in the vastness of the mainland, which Spike has never seen before. In the background, Rudyard Kipling's poem Boots is heard, which was voiced by actor Taylor Holmes in 1915. It symbolizes the senselessness and futility of war, with a rhythmic syllable imitating the rumble of footsteps from endless marches. Making his way through the woods, Jamie notices an infected man crawling on his belly. To pass the initiation, Spike must kill him. His father explains where to shoot with his bow. To do this while the boy is aiming, another fat man sneaks up behind them. This time a woman. Spike kills the male, the father, the female, and the cub, sparing only the youngest girl. The infected family. The couple moves on through the deserted landscapes. Soon they notice a herd of deer, which behaves like true deer. They rake the field in the center. Then they come across a lonely house, which they search for useful items. Hearing suspicious sounds, they find a raven packing a hanging man, with letters carved into his body. Someone punished him demonstratively, leaving him to become infected with the virus. Jamie explains to his son that there are survivors on the mainland too, but their moral and ethical guidelines differ from those in their community. Then he tells Spike to kill the hanged man to complete the initiation. But the boy hesitates until the infected breaks the bonds, after which he releases an arrow. As they continue on their way, they come across a severed deer head hanging from a tree. The infected have marked their territory. Knowing it's dangerous to stay here, Jamie leads his son away. They notice a group of infected ahead who give chase. The humans retreat, firing back with bows and arrows, and wasting their arrow supplies. Returning to the house, the survivors climb through a hatch into the attic, where they hide and wait for the infected to lose interest and leave. Watching Alpha watch them as they wait. Jamie explains to his son that the rage virus sometimes affects people differently. It works on alphas like the Olympic motto. Their thing is faster, higher, stronger and more resilient. You can't kill one with one arrow quote. As darkness falls, they notice lights in the sea, a NATO patrol boat enforcing the quarantine. Spike sees smoke from a fire in the other direction. The father says he has no idea who lives there. Towards morning, a herd of deer rushes past the house like lively moose. The vibration created by their hoofed steps shakes the house, and the chimney begins to collapse. Jamie and Spike quickly leave the shelter and run in the direction of their home island. When they reach the coast, they see that the tide has already begun to go out, but the water has not yet completely receded. Taking off their boots, they wade. The people reach the arch halfway, when a flock of crows sets off in pursuit. And what's worse, an alpha infected. The mutant runs like crazy, closing the distance. The survivors run to the wall of the settlement, whistling an alarm signal. The sentries on the wall, noticing them, shoot arrows. They cause inconvenience, but do not stop the alpha. He almost catches up with the fugitives when a ballista spear is launched from the wall. which calms the mutated infected. The settlement throws a party in honor of Spike's successful initiation. Jamie talks about what a great son he is after the event. The boy notices him making out with another woman in a dark corner, returning home in confusion. He discusses his mother's condition with Sam. The old man says that the fire on the mainland was lit by Dr. Kelson, the only doctor the settlement knows about. The problem is that he is supposedly crazy. In the morning, Spike asks his dad why he didn't say anything about Dr. Kelson. Perhaps he can help his mom. Father Jamie admits that in his youth, he met him during one of his forays. He laid out dozens of corpses in a clearing and burned them, considering him crazy. He and his friends decided that it was strictly not recommended to approach him. Spike accuses his father of waiting for Ella to die so he can leave him for another woman. In a fit of rage, the man gives him a slap on the wrist. Despite the fact that he later apologized as best he could, the boy has already hatched a plan. He sets fire to the barn to distract the sentries at the gate, after which he and his sick mother go to the doctor. On the mainland, Ella is frightened by the deserted landscapes. She calls her husband, but her son insists that they need to go further. To the doctor they walk all day, stopping for the night in a chapel. Spike volunteers to be on duty, but falls asleep on duty. A fat infected crawls towards him. At the last moment, Ella throws a bag over the mutant's head and smashes his skull with a stone. However, in the morning, she has no memory of doing it. The story switches to soldiers from the Marine Quarantine Patrol. Due to circumstances, they moored to the shore in a boat. When the Marines are pursued by the infected, the number of troops is inextricably reduced. They even have to finish off their own after the battle. Fleeing, the soldiers find themselves in a sewer tunnel, locking the grate from the inside. However, here they are met by a huge alpha, capable of easily tearing out a bad head, along with the spine as a result. One soldier remains, the only survivor, who wisely flees, shooting the infected behind the grate. Spike and Ella make their way through a field overgrown with grass and yellow flowers. Noticing a black metal statue ahead, the woman tells how she first saw it, only because of her consciousness clouded by the disease. She mistakes her son for her husband. A skinny infected, similar to Cillian Murphy, sneaks up on them. Spike kills him with a well-aimed shot. The infected's blood gets on Ella's face. The boy has to carefully wipe it away so that it does not get into her eyes, nose, or mouth. One drop is enough for infection. Noticing the carcasses of the infected running through their soul, the couple runs for the hills. Their escape leads them to an old gas station, inside which gasoline fumes are swirling. Having climbed inside, the people fight off the infected. Suddenly, a hatch opens on the roof, and a soldier ordering them to lie down on the floor opens fire on the mutant. The shooting ignites the fumes. The fire destroys the infected, but by the will of the script magic, it spares the prostrate Spike and Ella. Having got outside, they meet a Swedish soldier named Eric. He is forced to join their expedition, since he is even less familiar with the local realities than the boy and the crazy woman. Eric drags the exhausted Ella on himself, telling her along the way that he served in a quarantine patrol, but now, having set foot on the infected land, he cannot return back. The outside world cuts off all contact for the sake of safety at a rest stop. Eric shows Spike a photo of his girlfriend looking at her lips. The boy immediately makes a diagnosis: an allergy to seafood. He's seen this before. After the battery runs out, the soldier throws away the useless phone. As they continue their journey, Ella suddenly hears a groan and follows the sound. She gets to a railroad with an abandoned train, scaring away a herd of rats along the way. In the carriage, the woman finds a pregnant infected who, pitiful look, does not allow her to pass by. Out of female solidarity, Ella helps the mutant by delivering the baby. After that, the new mother, remembering that she is in fact infected, rushes at Ella. Eric calms the zombie with a couple of shots. Then he wants to shoot the baby too. Ella tries to convince him that the child is healthy, but only Alpha managed to calm Viaca down, grabbing him by the head. The people retreat through the carriages. Alpha, noticing his dead lover, gives chase with the fury of a ticket collector. Chasing Stowaway is never letting go of Eric's head. Suddenly, a man covered in iodine appears and calms Alpha down with a well-aimed blowgun blast. The arrow is filled with morphine. The man turns out to be Dr. Kelson, taking the soldier's head from the motionless Alpha. He leads his new acquaintances to his camp, which looks quite extravagant. Pillars of human bones. The doctor built them in memory of all the dead, whose bodies he burned. In the middle of this forest of the dead rests a tower of skulls. The doctor meticulously used different bones for different purposes. He took the soldier's head to add to his gruesome memorial collection, having dumped it on the fire. He carefully washes off the remains of flesh and skin from the skull until he has a perfect bone. Kelson allows Spike to choose a place to put Eric's cherry. After examining the baby and finding no signs of illness, the doctor reminds him that he needs food, specifically milk. He will have to be taken to the settlement. He then examines Ela, conducting tests for short-term memory and fine motor skills. The doctor's diagnosis is disappointing: cancer that has metastasized to the brain. Ela admits that she herself suspected this. I was afraid to tell anyone, realizing that she does not have much time left to live. Every day will be accompanied by pain. She says goodbye to her son. Then the woman goes with Kelson into the forest so that he can perform autopsy with a shock dose of morphine. After cremating the body on a pyre's less skull, like others that Kelson has gotten his hands on, goes through the same procedures. The doctor then gives it to Spike so that he can place the bone wherever he sees fit. The boy climbs to the very top of the bone tower to dig out his mother's skull. Facing east during the day, the awakened Alpha visits the camp, forcing the doctor and the boy to hide in an underground shelter. But the infected, having broken through the roof, grabs Kelson and tries to pull him out. Tranquilizes the Alpha with a syringe with morphine. After that, the boy and the child return to their native settlement. On the island, he leaves the girl at the gate with a letter for her father. In it, he says that he named the baby Ela in honor of his mother and asks not to look for him. Spike goes to the mainland to find himself. He will return when he deems it necessary. 28 days later, Spike is frying the caught fish when the infected notice him having shot one. The boy sets off on the run, but stumbles upon a stone embankment blocking the road. A young man in a tracksuit sits on top of the embankment. He praises Spike for his accurate shooting and offers to help deal with the rest of the crowd of infected. The stranger is joined by his friends, all of them in stylish sweatpants, as if they came out of the glamorous Mighty She of the 90s. The team skillfully unwinds the infected, demonstrating that over the past years, at least someone was smart enough to develop an effective method of fighting zombies. Then the guy meets Spike. It turns out that this is the surviving boy, Jimmy, from the prologue. This is where the movie ends. Thank you for watching to the end.